Good day, everyone. I am Miss Madala de Timario, and I am going to report all about overview of psychological foundations in education. This presentation explores the fundamental psychological principles that underpin effective educational practices aiming to enhance teaching and learning outcomes. What are psychological foundations? Psychological foundations in education refer to the application of psychological theories and research to understand and improve teaching and learning process. In these psychological foundations, it involves understanding learning, student development, and also motivation. In understanding learning, there are theories on how knowledge is acquired and retained. In student development, it involves cognitive, emotional, and social growth stages. And in motivation, it involves factors that drive engagement and persistence in learning. Okay, why psychological foundations matter? Okay, it matters because it empowers educators to design more effective learning environments, tailor instruction to diverse needs, and foster holistic student development. It moves teaching beyond mere content delivery to a deep understanding of learner. Okay, it involves also informed decision making. It guides pedagogical choices and classroom management strategies, and also enhance student outcomes, where it leads to improved academic performance and well-being. So, psychological foundations matter because there is a use of research to improve instruction. It matters also because it addresses cognitive, social, and emotional needs and also tailors strategies for learners with disabilities, cultural differences, and giftedness. There are behaviorism influence in psychological principle or in psychological foundations in shaping habits and responses in the classroom. Behaviorism emphasizes observable behaviors and how they are learned through interaction with the environment. Like there are key figures like Pavlov, Watson, and Skinner. They contributed concepts such as classical and operant conditioning. It involves positive reinforcement where it happens to have rewarding desired behaviors to increase their frequency. So it involves rewards. Example for students who were able to answer your question. So the teacher may able to give uh, points for that student. So that's a part of a reward. Next is repetition and practice. So the student mostly learn when there's a drill and practice of skill acquisition. And other students also are fun with memorization. Next is clear expectation. So we teachers must have this established precise rules and consequences for classroom conduct. So if such students misbehave in your classroom, so the teacher must reinforce the consequence of that particular behavior of that student. So we also have this cognitivism contribution. So understanding how we think, process, and learn. So in cognitivism, it shifts focus to mental processes like memory, problem solving, and perception. It views learners as active participants who process, organize, and store information rather than passive recipients. So, In this, it explores mental processes like memory, problem solving, o katong giingon ganina, problem solving and critical thinking. So also it focuses on the information that is received, organized, stored, and retrieved by the mind. Learning in this cognitivism constitutes a logical method of organizing and interpreting learning. So here, the teachers use a lot of problem and thinking skills in teaching and learning, like reflective thinking, creative thinking, intuitive thinking, discovery learning, and many more. So the teacher can use the those uh, those learning teaching in learning. We have here memory. So as I said, in this part, okay, the student will encode, organize, and store knowledge. Next is attention. In this part, it has a focus and select relevant information, and also problem solving. So in this part of it involves apply and manipulate information to solve tasks. So these two learning theories contributed the importance of psychological foundations, the behaviorism and cognitivism in shaping and understanding principles of teaching and learning. So the other two learning theories will be reported by my co-reporter, Miss Tanya Lucica.
Hi, welcome back to our report. To continue, may I show to you the next slide or that the remaining two psychological foundations of educations. But before that, we will recall the first one is behaviorism, the second is cognitivism, and we will tackle now the third part, which is humanism and constructivism. This is fostering growth, autonomy, and active learning. As we all know that humanists or humanism psychologists are concerned with how learners can develop their human potential, their doctrine and attitude. So as what Gestalt said, the whole is greater than the sum of its part. So these perspectives prioritize the individual's learner's potential and active construction of knowledge. So humanism focuses on self-actualization, personal growth, and intrinsic motivation. So deep within your attitude, theories like Maslow and Rogers emphasize creating supportive, empathetic learning environments where students feel safe to explore their potential, while constructivism is students actively build knowledge through experiences and reflection. This is learning not about receiving information, but what they have, like what John Dewey said, learning by doing. All right. Psychological principles in action, designing effective curriculum. So there are four steps. Integrating psychological foundations into curriculum design creates a more learning centric and impactful educational experience. So the first thing is curriculum alignment. So you should know the alignment of the content with the cognitive development stages of the learner. So as we all know, our students are diverse, and we should learn to have, or we should learn to know what are their cognitive developmental stages. Second is varied modalities. So what are those varied modalities? You can have your visual, auditory, or kinesthetic learning materials. So incorporating diverse teaching methods to cater to different learning styles. Next is scaffolding. What is scaffolding? So you will be the one who will guide to them. So they will be the one to do the task. All you have to do is to guide, to scaffold, providing structured support that gradually lessens as learners become more competent. And next is the formative assessment, regular checks for our understanding to adapt time. Next is the role of motivation and emotion, igniting and sustaining learning. So here, motivation and emotion are critical drivers of learning. And understanding them helps educators foster positive learning and environments. This is what we call the sociological foundation of an individual or of a student, a learner. Understanding them helps educators foster positive learning environments. So the backgrounds of the cultures of the learners. So intrinsic motivation, fostering curiosity, autonomy, and a love for learning itself. Choice and control over learning, task, and relevant and engaging content. Next is the emotional part, emotional intelligence, recognizing and managing emotions to support academic and social success. So we all know that we have diverse learners. We also have learners with diverse cultures and mga different backgrounds. So we teachers, we should have to learn, and we should have to evaluate about their cultures, their social and emotional structures, because this is one way of motivating the students na kung kahibaw ka kung unsa ang ilang mga kagikan, so makasabot ka kung unsa sila o ngano silang niingon ana. Then makapangita ka og mga materials nga fit for them. So creating a safe and inclusive classroom, teaching coping strategies for stress and frustration. Next is addressing individual differences, tailoring education through psychology. Students learn at different paces and different ways. Psychology provides tools to identify and respond to these variations. Number one is the cognitive styles. Understanding how individuals process information, how they will retrieve, how they will receive, and how they will analyze that such information. Next is learning disabilities, identifying and providing accommodations for conditions like dyslexia or ADHD. We have also this, since we are now in the inclusive learning environment na. So in a regular class, you have also mga special needs or learners with special needs. So you must have to do some additional effort for them, additional IMs for them, since we have learners with special abilities or disabilities. Next is cultural backgrounds. Recognizing the impact of cultural experiences on learning, because not all learners have the same cultural experiences. Personalized learning pathways, differentiated instruction, and inclusive program are all informed by psychological insights. That is why there are challenges and ethical considerations applying psychology responsibly. While powerful, applying psychological principles in education comes with responsibilities and potential pitfalls. So, ethical application, ensuring privacy, avoiding bias, and promoting equitable outcomes. Oversimplification, avoiding reductionist views of complex human behavior. Educators must stay informed about the best practices, engage in continuous professional, and prioritize student well-being above all. The goal is to use psychology to empower and to foster a truly enriching educational experience for every learner. So this topic only shows the overview of psychological foundations. Those four foundations are the behaviorism, cognitivism, constructivism, and humanitism. So those four foundations have a greater impact on learners, on the study of the learners. As they say, psychology has a great influence in the curriculum. So Even though we are now in the modern era, we can't deny the fact that we still use the four foundations of education, psychological foundations of educations, because those are the basis. Those are the foundations of the learning of the students. Learners are not machines, and the mind is not a computer. Humans are biological beings affected by their biology and their cultures. The psychological foundations will help curriculum makers in nurturing a more advanced, more comprehensive, and complete human learning. And that would be all. Thank you. I am again Mrs. Tanya Lucica. And here's our activity for this topic. How does psychological foundations of education affect the intelligence and personality development of learners? The significance of motivation in learning and the practical application of these concepts in the classroom to improve teaching and learning process. Thank you once again. Bye. Here's my co-reporter, Mama Della. Say thank
Thank
you
you
and God
and
bless
God bless
you.
everyone.
Bye.